Hey everybody, welcome to Random Chatter. This is episode 299, which means once we're done with this, we're recording a very special episode 300. And I say very special because, I don't know, it sounds like something I should say. But I'm Eric. I'm here with Lou and Tim. Lou, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Excited for number 300.
Yes, I am too. But not excited for this one because this is just 299.
Yeah, this is
a horrible episode. Don't listen to it any further than this. You've been warned. If you listen all the way through, bad things will happen to you.
In 7 days.
That's an episode of Evil that I watched that we're going to get back to in a minute. Tim, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. Carrie, just fantastic. Very funny in the chat. She said our marathon would still make it shorter than one of Mike's movie minutes.
That's true.
Nice
That's
job,
true.
Carrie.
Mike's Movie Minute is a great podcast on the Random Chatter Network, but I really question the title. Mike's Movie Hour. Mike's Movie 17 minutes. Like what is that? Mike's Movie 5/18ths of an hour. I don't know. We need to talk to Mike about that, but we'll worry about that later. We are going to recover what we've been watching, right, Lou?
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Because that's what we do on the reviews episode.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't been doing a lot of stuff.
Lou. Has it been another one of those weeks?
It has been. It was a rough week.
Yeah. That's okay. We're here for you now, Lou.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
So I watched a lot of older stuff. So it's been Halloween, so tons of Halloween movies were on all kinds of different cable networks, and I did watch a few of those here and there. And I did come across Clue twice now in the last couple of days. And yeah, we did it on Movie Chatter recently. It's such a fun show, fun movie, and I just left it on.
It's hard not to watch Clue when it's on.
It's
really hard to turn away from it.
Like we talked about when we did it on Movie Chatter, there's so many quick comebacks throughout the whole thing. It's like I just love that kind of comedy.
Yeah.
I did a little work in my shop over the weekend, and while I was down there, I had Netflix playing episodes of Deep Space Nine, so kind of one of my go-to Star Trek series to watch, and that was on. Still watching the Challenger series on Netflix. Great documentary if you're into documentaries about the space program. Kind of, it does make you think about, how much they were risking and what they took for granted as they were doing that whole process. But yeah, it's fascinating to hear the inside scoop on what was taking place at the time of the launches when they were launching back in 80s, I guess it was, when they were launching, more than they were supposed to, and still not as many as they had planned to do. But the pressure was on them.
Yeah.
I am still going through season 1 of The Boys. It's one of those shows where I know I want to keep watching it, but I don't find the time all the time. So I'm still enjoying that. And of course, The Mandalorian.
Wait. So, obviously we have to talk The Mandalorian, but go back to The Boys for a second.
Yeah.
What are you thinking so far?
Oh, I'm liking it. It's a fantastic show. I love watching it. It's just one of those things where because I don't normally have Amazon streaming on multiple devices all the time. So it's like I don't think of it. It's one of those things where I've got to constantly think, log into this, or run Apple TV, and do it that way. But or pick it up on Xfinity, that kind of thing. It's just not my normal go-to. Netflix is pretty much second nature to go to for me. Apple TV on the iPod and iPad are easy to. I know what you mean,
because that's one of the reasons that I've still had a problem catching up with Jack Ryan, is because Amazon is the one thing I haven't really used. But when Upload came out, and then The Boys, and then I've got Jack Ryan on my list for today. Yeah, now I like the Apple TV thing where you've got the, what you've been watching, and it consolidates everything for you except Netflix. And I do a lot of Netflix, but that Apple TV thing has made it easier to start to include some of these things. Like I don't do Hulu that often either, but there are shows on Hulu that I need to catch up on, and it includes them there.
The Apple TV thing is kind of weird for me because I like the Apple TV, but it's weird how it does consolidate that. And it seems weird to me that why are you putting all these other things on here when I'm not really logged into, I don't know. It just seems wrong.
I have a love-hate relationship with it. It's really good for, like, if you are watching various different series across various different platforms, it does a good job of letting you know what's up next. As soon as I scroll off of that first row, I'm like, what the hell's the rest of this mess? And how do I find anything I'm actually looking for? And what if I just want to browse through certain things? So like, it's in my opinion, it's horrible for discovery, but it's really good to keep a running list of the things you're actively in the middle of watching.
It's a good consolidator. I'll say that. Yeah. And but I don't use it as much because it doesn't seem like the pathway to get to Apple TV is easy for me as it used to be. I don't know why, but it just seems weird. But I do enjoy watching this kind of stuff from Xfinity's voice remote. So, pick up the remote and say, let's watch Shameless on Netflix. And it goes back to picking up right where I left off from last time. If I say, let's watch, The Boys on Amazon Prime, it'll pick up right where I left off there. Good. So it runs the app inside of Xfinity and then just plays it.
Okay.
So I just got to get more used to doing that. It's that list you have in your phone that says this is what you're watching, because it's not like you just go to your DVR and watch them like you used to.
Right. Carrie in the chat room said it's kind of like Apple TV links your accounts, which it does. And I'm told it doesn't minimize the screen on pausing like CBS All Access does. That is correct. It does not minimize the screen. Now you get the X-ray thing when you're watching something on Amazon. But yeah, I've not seen it shrink the screen on anything I've watched. So, of course, I don't have CBS All Access anymore, so.
CBS All Access minimizes in Apple TV?
I don't know. She's saying that she's told that it doesn't. But I guess it does on other things, so.
I mean, I've seen some things where you'll do it and it'll shrink it down to a small screen, give you a big ad when you pause things, but yeah. I know what she's saying.
So you mentioned The Mandalorian. I mean, we got to talk a little bit about that. We covered it on the Outer Rim episode 114, which you can find here on YouTube. And I recommend that you do. I mean, we kind of have to give our thoughts in a nutshell, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And you're liking season 2 so far?
Yeah, as far as the recommendation goes, it's 2 thumbs up from this guy because I think this is a great continuation from season 1. I mean, it's actually, even though it's season 2, it's just episode 9, right? So
it's chapter 9.
The very next episode. Yeah, chapter 9. Yeah. So it's really just the very next episode and just continuation of the story. So it doesn't feel like it's a new season to me. But
Tim, you liked it?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I was thrilled with it. Really exciting episode. Really nice to have it back. I loved the callbacks to things that we saw in the first season, the callbacks to things from other Star Wars canon, callbacks to things from Star Wars Legends that now making them canon. It was great. It was terrific.
There's a lot of good stuff in it, and it was double length. It was 54 minutes. And even if you take out the credits and the recap, it's still the longest episode so far. So as much as we complain about how short the episodes are, at least they gave us a long premiere. So, we're grateful for that. But
yeah,
I liked it too. You should definitely check out the Outer Rim 114. Now available in a YouTube channel near you. So
after you've seen the episode, though,
I would recommend you watch the episode of The Mandalorian first, but and then click the subscribe button down below, and go watch.
Did we come up with a time for doing a watch together thing?
We did not. We talked about doing it, and then it kind of we were going to do a test run, and then all of a sudden, oops! It's October 30th.
It's here. Yeah,
it's already here. So no, but we need to try to do some watch togethers for that. So if anybody's interested in that, let us know in Discord. Go to randomchatter.com/Discord and join the Outer Rim channel, and let us know, and we'll try to set something up.
And let us know how you want that to happen too. If you want to hear us talking over the episode, if you want to just chat in text, that kind of thing.
We can do either. Now, if we're going to do talking over the episode, it'll probably just be the host, and everybody else will be in chat. Like, I don't want to have a cacophony of a whole bunch of people chiming in all at once.
It'd be unmanageable.
Unless people really want that.
That's a good word, Eric.
Cacophony? Yeah. I figure coughing, it fit in with the COVID-19 theme, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh, wait, does that mean we have to?
You have to wear masks.
Quarantine before we watch it.
You have to quarantine during, at least.
After we watch it?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I know,
Okay.
but they're short episodes, so it'll be a short quarantine. Yeah. So, Tim, you want to go next?
Yeah, absolutely. So of course, I also had The Mandalorian on my list. Let's see, we watched The Haunting. This is the I think 99 movie with Catherine Zeta-Jones and Owen Wilson and
Oh yeah. Okay.
that Liam Neeson was in it. Good movie. I own it, and it's probably something I watch maybe I don't even think I watched it last year. But it's a great movie. My wife had never seen it before, and she enjoyed it. So that was good. Maleficent, believe it or not, I'd never seen Maleficent.
Neither have I.
My wife claims that I had, and I hadn't. I thought it was a really good movie.
Really?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to watching the sequel. It happened to be on TV, and like we're scrolling through the guide and saw it and said, "Hey, I want to watch that." My wife's like, "Yeah, well, why don't we watch it?" I said, "Okay, we'll watch it. We're going to go over to Disney Plus to watch it."
Right.
That way,
4K.
sans commercials and HD.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Really great story. It was a lot of fun.
Good.
Finished up Helstrom actually this afternoon.
And
Over on Hulu. I'm thoroughly impressed with it. I was, and I will say I'm, fully eating crow in this thing because I was a naysayer, thinking that it was just going to be an absolute train wreck because it was practically disavowed by Marvel Studios. And I'll say it was great. And of course, this series set up for a second season, which it's never going to have. Because now Marvel TV is being run by Marvel Studios, and Kevin Feige, who I'm a big fan of, has basically decreed that everything that comes out is going to be canonical, or it's going to be associated with the MCU. So, we're not going to see things like the Netflix shows or like this they existed, and maybe they threw a couple of things out there that said, "Oh, yeah, sure, we're in the MCU. Yeah, that thing happened in New York City." But then they just kind of go about their own business. So they want to have things connect, even if it's not a strong connection.
It doesn't not connect. Like it doesn't trample any canon to bring the Netflix shows in. Like they can coexist without needing any retconning, right?
Yeah. So, not speaking specifically of, I gave the Netflix shows as an example of like they wouldn't do that again.
Because I don't care about Helstrom. I only care about the Netflix shows.
Yeah. Yeah. So like they wouldn't do the Netflix shows again. If they did, they would be connected.
Yeah.
They'd be connected to the MCU. But yeah, Helstrom was great. It was seriously good. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Check it out.
It held my attention.
Yeah. Based on your very emphatic praise for it in the Discord server and here, I've got it on my list. I've actually watched like the first 30 seconds or so just to kind of trigger it on my what's up next list, like what we were just talking about.
Yeah. Yep.
Just enough to kind of trigger it to keep it like right at the front of my radar. It's not really my thing though. Like I'm going to give it an honest chance, but it is outside of my favorite genres. In fact, it's a genre I typically just dismiss. So, but I'll give it a try.
And that's fine. I mean, hey, not everything is for everyone.
Sure.
But, and then just because for probably the last 6 months or so, it has been in my mind, and I've thoroughly missed watching the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo.
I've never seen that one.
It was a fun series.
Yeah.
There were
There
were actually 13 episodes of it. And, it was a great series. Ended up, you can't find it anywhere. I think it's on whatever thing that like Hanna-Barbera has their shows on or something really, something really obscure like that. So off of Amazon, picked it up for like $12 on DVD. And we've watched 5 of the episodes so far. And it's great. It's very nostalgic for me. I used to love it. I never realized there were only 13 episodes because like these things were like in constant reruns or something when I was, I remember when I was seeing them and like I didn't realize there were only 13 of them.
You would think that they would cycle through often enough. At some point you would have seen the same one more than even 2 times.
I remember, I think the majority of the time that I saw them was like just before school. So like right before the school day started. So I only probably saw like 10 or 15 minutes of an episode.
Yeah.
And so it was never the whole thing. So yeah.
Okay.
It's just kind of how it ended up. But yeah, a lot of fun. There's one character in there who is, I believe, only in this series named Flim Flam. And I forgot how really annoying that character is. But other than that, it's really solid Scooby-Doo stuff. So just a lot of fun.
Does it have Scrappy-Doo?
And, seasonally appropriate. It does have Scrappy. Okay. Yep. And Scrappy is not annoying in this one, or Scrappy does get annoying.
He's pretty annoying usually,
Yeah,
yeah. Scrappy is not annoying in this one, but this kid Flim Flam is really annoying. But this has Vincent Price.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Vincent Price voices a regular character through the entire series.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I was just checking this out while you were talking on Google. The first episode aired on my birthday in 1985.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Did you get your birthday off of work that year? Did you get to go?
I don't know. Sometimes every 6 years or so I do, because it falls on Labor Day.
Interesting. Okay.
So everybody gets their birthday off every now and then. This year was one of those years.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Am I up?
That's all I got.
Okay.
So what are you watching?
So I again, we mentioned The Mandalorian. I mentioned Jack Ryan earlier. I finally started. I've been trying to find something I can watch on my breaks at work. Because I work 13-hour shifts, and so I get 3 30-minute breaks. And by the time I actually sit down and get my food, whatever, I've got about 20 minutes. So I can get through about an hour of an episode each day. And so Jack Ryan is one of the 2 things I've started watching again. And I'm still only a few episodes in. And I love the series. I think that when I started watching it, I was looking for maybe something a little lighter. So I knew I wanted to come back to it, but I put it off. And then, like I said before, it was on Amazon Video. And at the time, there was nothing else on Amazon Video I was watching. But then again, recently, between Upload and The Boys, I noticed, it's still sitting there on my list. I got to watch this at some point. So I started watching that, and I love it. And I started watching Evil. And I only came across this actually because of Robin. She had mentioned it. And so I started it a while back. I watched a couple of episodes, but I had a gap in the episodes I could find. So I held off until I could find them and never did. And then it just hit Netflix about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, very recently.
Yes.
And so I started watching it on Netflix, and I love it. It's a great show. It's about a guy who is training to become a priest, played by the guy that plays Luke Cage from the Netflix Marvel series.
Mm-hmm.
And he investigates...
Mike Coulter.
Yep, Mike Coulter. And he investigates he works for the Catholic Church, and he investigates both miracles and like demonic influences and demonic possessions and stuff like that. And he has another guy whose name I forget, but I've seen him in a lot of stuff, mainly comedies and stuff, who plays one of the skeptics on his team who deals with electronic things and computer hacking and environmental hazards and stuff. And, that wasn't a demon. It was everybody hallucinating because the CO2 levels in the room were too high and things like that. He goes through and scientifically debunks a lot of this stuff. And then the premise of the show is the lead character brings in this, is she a forensic psychologist, I guess?
Yeah.
As yet another skeptic on the team to handle things from a psychological point of view, because, is the person possessed, or are they just having mental health issues? Because it could be really hard to determine between the two. And the show does a really good job of balancing the line between, is something religious or is it something that can be explained through science and stuff like that. One of the probably, I guess, the primary antagonist in the show is played by Michael Emerson from Lost.
Cool.
And who is he's amazing in anything he does, especially when he's playing the bad guy. And his bad guy in this is at least as good as the bad guy in Lost.
Cool.
Just phenomenal. So you've got kind of the Mulder and Scully sort of skeptic versus believer thing. But Mike Coulter's character is a little more grounded and flawed and is aware of his flaws. And it doesn't feel quite as caricaturized as the Mulder-Scully relationship. This seems a lot more interesting and definitely more modern. But I also like the fact that, like, regardless of what people's religious beliefs are, I think it's important to at least respect that. And I always hate when I see TV shows or movies where there's a religious character, but the religion is treated either like the person is a naive, gullible idiot, or they're automatically a bad guy, and that's it. Like, it's either one or the other.
Right.
This show treats religion respectfully without trying to argue for it. And it never gets preachy. And that's a really delicate balance, I think.
Yeah, you're right. They do treat it well, and it has, I mean, in terms of the plot of the shows, it's one of those. I mean, even just like the techie guy that you mentioned, sometimes the tech is able to debunk something, other times it's not.
Right.
On the religious side, sometimes the religious part is able to address it, and sometimes it's not. So they're not just taking this one solid path all the way through and saying, "Oh, this is the solution to everything."
Right.
So it's really varied, and I think the writing is
the writing
really
is incredible
well
on it. I'm really shocked.
Yeah.
And it's not just kind of the plot of whatever the mystery of the week is. It's also like the family interactions and the dynamics within the
there's
team.
a lot of character development.
There's a crap load of character development.
Yeah.
It's a really character heavy show, and yet also a plot heavy show, and yet also a story heavy show. There isn't more of an overarching storyline throughout the season. And I just finished the season. I just wrapped up the last episode, and I'm really looking forward to the second season. There were only, I think, 9 episodes. And I thought my app was broken because it wasn't going to the next episode. I'm like, well, obviously they didn't end it there. Like, where's the next episode? There's only 9. So that was a little disappointing. But I think it's a good sign when you get to the end of a season and you're disappointed that there's not more episodes. So I'm taking that as a good thing. So I think that would be my big recommendation out of the things I've watched this week is Evil. Again, free on Netflix. I've also been watching, I almost caught up on Star Trek Lower Decks. I still have to renew my CBS All Access because I decided I didn't want it. And now I think maybe I do again. The Queen's Gambit on Netflix. Kind of a tricky show to describe. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's this girl, I guess it's set like in the 50s. And she's an orphan and she grows up and she learns chess and she becomes like a grandmaster at chess. It's based on some book or something. And it's interesting because Gary Kasparov, for those of you who recognize the name, was actually one of the consultants for the show, and all of the chess things that happen in the show, like they're real moves and they're real openings, and they made the actors all memorize the specific moves in each of the chess games.
Wow.
Not that you need to understand any of that if you're not into chess. I play a little bit and I get the game enough to get by, but it's not really about the chess. It's about this girl and her mental health issues and her obsession with it and stuff. And I'm only like maybe 3 episodes into it, but it's not at all what I thought it would be. And so far it's really, really surprisingly good. So I would recommend checking it out. At least watch the trailer. Catching up on Archer, almost at the end of Lovecraft Country. I've just got to watch the finale yet. I started watching Key and Peele. This is something we're going to talk about next episode in the lightning round, but HBO Max has brought a lot of the Comedy Central classics starting today, in fact. And like Reno 911 and Inside Amy Schumer, and Key and Peele is one of them. I don't know if the others have shown up, but Key and Peele showed up today, and I love the show. There are some skits that I don't care about, like where they go through and name all the football player names and stuff, but I'm not into sports. But it's like really good.
By the way, something I just realized in the last week, if you use AT&T as your cell phone provider, HBO Max, you get a free month of that.
Yeah.
And I may very well do that.
Yeah, they were talking initially about it being free all the time. You might want to check on that.
If it were free all the time, I would freaking love
because,
that. I really wanted to see Lovecraft Country and HBO Max. I mean, they're bringing the game.
I gotta say, I'm really happy.
Phenomenal library.
I'm really happy with HBO Max. I say I probably watch that as much as I do any other streaming service. Like they've got really good stuff there. And I'm talking about their originals, but even besides that, they've got a really good catalog of other stuff too, including Comedy Central stuff and the DC Universe. And of course, all of the DC Universe stuff is coming over to HBO Max. Yeah, I think it's definitely worth it. I think it's a no-brainer at this point. I'm really happy with it. But yeah, I think AT&T, you're supposed to get that for free, like just indefinitely. Verizon, I think, does.
I think it depends on the level.
There you go. Which package you're in. Okay, because
I think I looked into it a while ago because they get the big ad saying it's free, and I'm like, okay, reading the fine print. I'm like, no, it's not for me. So,
okay. All right, so that's something then. I think Verizon does Disney Plus. One of them I thought did Netflix. Sprint does Hulu, though Sprint's now purchased by T-Mobile, so I don't know how that's going to continue. And Amazon as well, if you sign up for that level.
I think I've got Netflix through Comcast, maybe?
Well, Xfinity gives you Peacock.
Well, Peacock's free for everybody, but it doesn't matter what you have. But I want to say I've got Netflix here from somebody. I thought it was.
I don't think it's Xfinity because there's something I do get free through Xfinity, and it's not.
I think Verizon does Netflix.
Okay,
I believe.
Yeah, I don't have Verizon.
Either way,
somehow I'm getting it free. I don't remember what.
Check with your cable providers and check with your cell phone carriers because you probably get something for free, and if not, upgrading your plan might be a benefit if you're going to get that and whatever other upgrade benefits you get. So it's worth looking into. But
yeah. Definitely.
All right. And then finally, I did see another movie. I won't do the accent, but Borat subsequent movie film delivery of prodigious bride to American regime for make benefit of one glorious nation of Kazakhstan.
Nope.
You should watch it, Tim.
Next.
Nope. Not gonna.
It has the thing I like about the Sacha Baron Cohen stuff. It's not that Borat is a good character. Over. It's not. Hush. It'll never be over. It's not the story. It's all these little moments where you get to see how people really are when that's the thing. Like I like watching. I mean, the scene with Rudy Giuliani was interesting. The scene at the rally was interesting. There's just a lot of moments that there's a lot of social commentary in that stuff. So I'm not saying you'd like the movie, but I know you would laugh through various parts.
Oh, I'm sure I probably would. With some, I mean, I don't find all of it absurd, but I do find a lot of it to be absurd.
Well, a lot of it is.
But I won't say that I'm not curious about some of the social commentary stuff. I mean, it's obviously gotten a lot of attention over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's why I watch it. It's a stupid movie. And like the story in it is absolutely stupid. Like it's not trying to be smart in that regard. That's not why you watch Borat stuff. That's not why you watch Bruno stuff. That's not why you watch the show he did on what was it called? The one on Showtime? They came out like last year, where he interviewed like all these like right-wing politicians and stuff, and like had them do promotional commercials to get guns in elementary schools by putting like little bunny rabbit covers over the guns. And like, you've got these like real name politicians doing commercials for these things. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting, but you don't watch it for the plot. Definitely.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all I got. So, and we're at the 30-minute part.
On to 300.
30-minute mark. Yes, on to episode 300. So those of you watching in the live stream, stick around. And in fact, those of you watching later on YouTube, also stick around, unless you've already watched it, in which case, thank you. We are glad to have brought you that which we are about to bring you after you will have watched it in the past later on. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think
exactly.
I just broke them.
I was thinking the same thing.
There you go. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Don't forget to subscribe by hitting the button below. Hit the little notification thing as well, and you'll get notified when new episodes show up here on YouTube. You can also get audio podcasts at randomchatter.com or in whatever podcast player you use. Go to randomchatter.com/YouTube to subscribe to the channel. Also, you can join us in Discord. Go to randomchatter.com/Discord. It's free. We've got channels for each one of the shows on the Random Chatter Network. And for those who donate through randomchatter.com/Patreon, even just $1 a month, there's a whole new section of Discord that's available for you. In fact, the Mandalorian channel has really been hopping. And if you guys are going to post stuff in Skype back and forth and giggle and stuff, you have to let the people there in the joke.
I wasn't posting. It was all Tim.
Okay.
Sorry, Tim. That bus came out of nowhere.
The one he just threw you in front of. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that ran him over.
It's all good.
All right, that's going to do it. Stick around, those in the chat room, and we will see you in just a few minutes. Take care.